right, let's get into it. Good morning, happy Friday. I hope anyone that was able to take advantage of the 4th of July holiday, that you had a great time, spent with family and friends and celebrated accordingly. If you were taking the day off from trading, I hope you had a relaxing day. Bit of a mental reset. It's well worth it at times just to take a couple of days off here and there from trading and just reset, get balanced and get back into it. Let's kick off with looking at the calendar. So here we have news at 8:30 today. This is our non-farm payroll day, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate at 8:30. So we can expect a hell of a lot of volatility at 8:30 today. And if you're going to trade cautiously. I know that there'll be a number of people who like to try and fade funded accounts, eval accounts. So, good luck if you decide to go down that route. I won't be doing that today. But I will be looking for an opportunity after open, so we'll see how we go. So let's get down to it, starting with NASDAQ. On the daily, first of all, we've swept our highs here. We've swept our external range liquidity. We also have internal liquidity that is residing here, although this daily candle, the current day's candle, hasn't closed yet. We do have liquidity residing in here. So I'll be looking or anticipating for price to move lower. Now, we also have a daily FVG sitting nicely down here at 50% of the dealing range. So if price does turn after news today and continue to move lower, then there's a good chance we could expect to see or anticipate to see price move down below the 50% here into a discount and reach into this internal liquidity. We'll shoot down to the 1 hour. I mean, this is pretty yucky price action through here, and to be expected. Obviously, we had the bank holiday yesterday, and looking for or anticipating price to consolidate anyway, leading into such a high impact news event. So this is to be expected. We've obviously swept the highs here, and there's plenty of liquidity residing down here and here. Got these hourly FVGs that we can look for price to reach for. What else have we got? What we'll do is we'll come back to NAS after we've had a look at ES as well, and look to see if there's any SMT between the pairs. But keeping in mind that we have swept the daily high. We have this hourly FVG residing down here, and this one down here. What also looks to be consolidation. This is our London session here. Manipulation. and potential for distribution. Relative equal lows down here. And if we drop down a little bit further, only because the indicator that I use is showing the London session and the Asia session, currently sitting above midnight open or true day open. We have London high unmitigated, London low unmitigated, and Asia low unmitigated. So we may see a price move up at news before pushing down and cleaning up the lows here from the sessions. We'll wait and see. All right. So I'm going to just mark my bias here, which I came up on the daily was bearish. So let's over to ES. Similar story on ES. ERL. We have internal liquidity at both of these levels here. And again, I think we'll find that this is below or well, it's almost entirely the same as NQ. So it's right in the middle of that liquidity, that internal liquidity, our 50% of the range. So we'll keep an eye on that, see if we're coming down into a discount here. Let's see if there's any SMTs on the daily. There's nothing at the highs at the moment. Similar price action across both pairs. Obviously at the lows here we did have an SMT, but I believe that that has already played out. That pushed price to our all-time highs. Okay, dropping down to the hourly on ES, and I'm sure we're going to find something similar to NQ. So yeah, we've got this consolidation again to be expected prior to news. The bank holiday in there, so completely expected to see this sort of price action. Now looking at the highs there on the hourly with NQ. No SMT. Yeah, there's no SMT there, so we'll just be waiting to see what news delivers. If we look at the 15-minute chart, we've got a similar scenario. Although the London low has created a double bottom, rather equal lows is probably a better way to put that. And we know that that is a very solid draw on liquidity. It'll be interesting to see if ES takes this London low before 8:30. So again, I'm going to indicate that I am bearish based on the daily, moving from these highs back to internal. Jump over to Dixie. Dixie finally decided to move out of this range that it was sitting in and it started to move lower. So we see the first thing here is we've got a sweep of this low. Now, that was swept and then brought back up. So we see this wick here, after sweeping the low, came back up. And then following that, we've continued with another drop below this swing low. And if we use our internal or our external to internal relationship, then we could see price move now from external to internal. When we look at this, we're going to consider that we've got a daily bias on ES and NQ of being bearish. Dixie is inversely correlated to ES and NQ, and what that means is that it should act to the complete opposite to what ES and NQ are delivering in price. So if we're bearish on ES and NQ, or we're seeing bearish price action, if the market is playing true and accurate, then we should be seeing bullish price action on Dixie. So we'll see again what news delivers, but at the moment I'd be looking to see price move back up into this internal liquidity residing here. If we drop down to the hourly, on the hourly at the moment, it's looking bearish still. They're still delivering bearish price action. The order flow is definitely bearish. Unless we see a change in the state of delivery here, then we may just continue lower. So the structure at the moment is definitely bearish. Got the equal highs up here. Would be a nice draw. We'll just zoom in a little bit. Might see if we did get a sweep here. It did sweep by about a tick. So if I ran the standard deviations off here, you can see we're currently sitting at the -4, which is generally considered our max extension. You can see how it works. We've at the -2.5, we closed below that level. And when price closes below the -2.5, we can anticipate that price will reach the -4. That's exactly what's happened here. Price closed below, retraced back up, and then ran right back down to our max extension. So we are so close to that max extension, you could almost call this mission complete. And that could work well for our idea of moving back up. So I am going to call my Dixie analysis for the daily bullish, based on, if we just duck back to it quickly, based on our external, which we had here, external to internal relationship. So we can look for price to potentially move back internal here. have a look at oil. Oil has given me a bit of grief the last couple of days. Obviously not yesterday with the bank holiday, although there was, I'm just going to have a look at that. There was a 15-minute unicorn that played out to my knowledge. But yeah, oil's given me a bit of grief because the bias I've been drawing on oil has been correct, and then entries or unicorns have formed without actually giving an entry. So there's been a number of opportunities that haven't filled because prices just run. It hasn't come back to the breaker, which is frustrating to say the least. But that's the way it works sometimes. So we would have got a 2R out of this one. Got our swing, our stop hunt here. Breaker, FVG in the middle here. There's also an FVG down here. We've got our close above. So you'd be waiting for this candle here to close, and then you get an entry here. And it's very nice price action after that. That was CL yesterday on a bank holiday. I guess CL doesn't take days off. Anyway, let's go out to the daily and have a look. So we had the swing or the sweep of our external here, and we got that bearish move down. However, price essentially disrespected the move lower here. And price continued lower, then got bought back up. So because this move has failed, in my opinion, and the nearest internal was down here. So my idea initially, the start of this week, was we'd be starting to, after we swept this, we'd be starting to look to come lower. And we might not get all the way down here, but I was anticipating more of a bearish move. Because that's failed and we're moving back up, I'm now looking for this level here as our next draw. And we could even reach over here because there'll be a lot of orders sitting above this wick high. Have a look at this wick on this candle. Incredible. So that's where I'm looking now. I'm going to actually anticipate that we continue to move higher based off of this candle structure here, this formation. And if we drop down to the hourly, I'll just mark that as bullish. Drop down to the hourly. So I like that we have this sweep here. We also have an hourly unicorn. My apologies, it's not a unicorn, it's just a breaker block. There's no FVG in here. The FVG needs to be aligned with the breaker block, and there is an FVG here, so there is displacement, but it is not aligned with our breaker block. So that is not a true unicorn, that is just a breaker block. So we have stop hunt, breaker block, price has come down, it's tested the breaker block, and it's now moving higher. So if we run our standard deviations here, we can use this entire candle because that candle created the high and the low of the leg that took liquidity. So we can use that candle. And I'll be looking for price to reach up to this -2 to -2.5. If we drop back to the daily, just want to see where we align here. So it's actually, I didn't notice this, but this is actually equal highs here too. So I'm really liking that as a potential draw. So that lines up with our -1. If we just zoom out a little, we'll see if what price has got for us over here. So we have low resistance liquidity run, which is beautifully aligned with our -2 to -2.5 area. So I'm liking the hourly structure here to remain bullish. So we'll see if we hit this target. All right, let's have a look at gold. Let's go to the daily. Gold finally starting to make a move. I don't trust it at the moment, I'll be honest. I really will trust it more if we break these highs here. At least if we break these highs and price leaves this internal liquidity here, then at least we have something to work with. But as I said the other day, we've just sat in this range all week, but we've finally seen a push out. Obviously, we also had a push out here, and then it returned straight away. So I'd still be cautious on gold. I'd like to see gold reach this external level here, but I'm actually going to remain neutral on gold for the time being until I see it actually get above this level here. Hourly. So we had a change in state of delivery down here. We just confirm that with our line chart, and you can see that swing high, got a low and then displacement. So there's our swing high here. The daily. The price is continuing to move higher slowly. Obviously, a little bit of consolidation here yesterday and Wednesday, which is to be expected. We've had a sweep of the lows here on this candle. So we can project that higher. Currently resting at the -2 to -2.5, which is a level that price tends to either consolidate before continuation or consolidate and reject. So it'll be interesting to see how gold reacts at this level. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. Good luck today if you're trading NFP news. If you want to fade the news, good luck. Hopefully you pass some funded accounts. And we will catch you all on Monday. Have a great weekend. Again, feel free to like and subscribe. Give me some comments if you like the content. If you want me to look at any other assets, I'm happy to do so. Just let me know. Remember that My Funded Futures also has their new starter plans right now. Jump in there and check them out. They're amazing. Use code Jimmy if you buy any of the evals. And if you're going to load up before news on any Apex accounts, you can do the same thing. Just use code Jimmy and you'll get max discount. Apex also has 80% off right now. All right, guys, until Monday, have a great weekend and we'll catch you later.